parent of a toddler is exciting and fun and rewarding and messy and exhausting, and it will test every ounce of your patience. Are you pooping? Did this come out of your mouth? Don't touch that. No, don't touch that. What is all over this book? Is this food or poop? It's disgusting. I wasn't sleeping, I was resting my eyes. Oh, look what you found. That looks safe. Can you give it to Mama? Okay. Hello friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Kallie Branciforte, and while I certainly can't solve all of your toddler struggles, I do have some productivity hacks that I think makes parenting easier. So let's jump into those. Okay, so my first hack is great if the following seems very familiar to you. We know with toddlers that silence is not golden. It usually means a mess. If you find that you have a place where you're constantly having to pop back in to check on your kids, for me it's when I'm cooking in the kitchen or I'm getting ready in the bathroom, then you can use a mirror to your advantage. You can either just hang a decorative mirror in a strategic place or just get a small mirror, even something handheld, and place it in a way that you can easily look in on your kids. You can even use something like a command strip so you can take the mirror down when you're not using it. This way you can easily peek in on the room without having to constantly go all the way in the room to check on your kids. Okay, let's talk about toys for a second. I feel like kids' toys are a catch-22 because you need them and want them to entertain and engage your child, but you also find yourself feeling overwhelmed by how much space they are taking up or just the clutter that they're creating in your house. And this is why I believe so strongly in using toy rotation. This is something I've talked about before. Toy rotation is the idea of only letting your kid have access to a portion of their toys at once and the rest is away in storage. When your kid has too many toys available, they can get really bored of them. Toy fatigue can make their favorite toy look like a piece of junk. And it can also be really overwhelming when all of the toys are out and available for them. So by rotating toys out, you keep the selection new, fresh, and concise. And every time you rotate the toys, it's like brand new, exciting toys for them to get to play with. I have an entire blog post all about toy rotation, how I do it, how it works, and I will link that down below. Alright, I feel like I'm gonna get some eye rolls on this next one, but that is to wake up before your children. Now I know the idea of giving up precious sleep can seem really daunting. My thought process here is you're about to spend the next 12 plus hours entertaining your child with hopefully a little nap break in there. You need some time for yourself at the beginning of the day to be just for you. I can't tell you how much better my mornings are when I wake up before Miles. Now this doesn't have to be a drastic amount, it can just be 15 minutes. Personally, I like to have about an hour, but do whatever works for you. Now the important thing here is that you're not just setting an alarm and then waking up early and sort of wandering around the house wondering what you're supposed to do because your kids aren't awake. You need to be intentional with this time. So think about what it is that fills your cup and use this time for that. So maybe it's exercising, maybe it's just having coffee to yourself while you scroll through social media, maybe it's doing some work so that you feel productive, maybe it's getting dressed and throwing on a little makeup so you feel ready for the day. Whatever it is, you need to know what it is, and then that's what you do when you wake up in the morning. This allows you to feel like you've achieved something before your children wake up, and it gives you a chance to fill up your own cup before you dedicate most of your time to tending to your little ones. Okay, how many times have you been waiting for nap time or bedtime to come because you have all this stuff you want to get done, and then finally your child is asleep and you're like, I don't really know what to do, and you just sort of end up sitting around not getting anything done? This has happened to me a lot. I don't know what it is when you finally have free time. It's somehow you get paralyzed and you can't remember anything you wanted to do. And this is why I use what I call the nap time hustle list. This is just a little to-do list. I add things to it usually throughout the morning, when I'm hanging out with my kid, maybe the night before, when things pop into my head that I know I want to get done. And then that way when Miles goes down for his nap, I just pick up my nap time hustle list, I know exactly what I want to get done, and I can jump right in and start to knock some things off my to-do list. I think sometimes one of the harder things about being a toddler parent is when your toddler is awake, they pretty much consume 100% of your attention and you feel like you can't get to the things that you want to get to. So having this little nap time hustle list allows you to jot down the things that you would really like to do when you have time to yourself, and then it makes it a really quick, easy reference when your child falls asleep. Okay, so this next one is one that has helped me a lot, and that is to give yourself a daily schedule. I feel like sometimes following a schedule with a toddler feels a little bit like it's not gonna work because nothing ever goes like according to a schedule with a child. But I give myself just a general outline. This is really almost more for me than it is for my kid because I feel like it gives me a sense of control. But not only do I thrive on routine, toddlers really thrive on routine too. So even though it may not be obvious that the routine is helping them, it actually really is. So my daily schedule looks pretty similar every day, obviously just sort of swapping out different blocks of time for different things. I like to use block scheduling, and then, you know, it sort of allows me to move around the blocks or put different things inside of those time blocks. My next hack is what I call the have just one or have just enough. It's so easy with kids stuff to get more of things than you need. So an example of this is when my son was still on bottles for daycare, I owned just as many bottles as he needed for a single day at daycare. I didn't have any extras. So I do the same with like a lot of his food related things. He has 2 water cups, one for on the go, one for when he's at home. We have 2 milk cups, one that he uses for his morning milk, one that he uses for his afternoon milk. And it can be really tempting to buy extra because that's sort of your mindset to think like, oh, I need more than just enough. You actually don't, as long as you're just like washing them all at the end of the day. And it keeps the kid clutter to so much more of a minimum and really just helps make it a lot more manageable. Oh, hey there. I just wanted to stop on and say, hey, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you're enjoying this video, I'd love to invite you to follow me over on Instagram, share a lot more content over there, a lot more motherhood content. It's my favorite place to interact with my subscribers and other moms. So I hope to see you over there. I don't know about you, but I feel like every time I go to put my child into the high chair, and whenever he's eating something particularly messy, I realize I don't have a bib, and it's this like mad dash to get the bib and get it on him before he's like put his hands into the yogurt and it's everywhere. So I use this hack that I discovered actually when I was doing a tested video, and that is to put a command hook on the back of your high chair. Then right after you wash your bibs, hang them here to dry, and next time it's mealtime, you'll have your bibs right where you need them every single time. Okay, next is to bulk meal prep tasks together. So an example of this is if you're cutting something up for your kid, to just cut it all up. Miles loves to eat grapes, and when I feed him grapes, I have to quarter them so they're safe for him to eat. So instead of quartering just enough for him to have for that snack, I quarter as many as I can get done, and then I can store them away in the fridge, and that way I'm not constantly pulling out a knife every single time he wants grapes. Another example is if I'm gonna make pancakes in the morning for him, I make a huge batch of them, and then I just put a bunch in the freezer. That way I'm not making pancakes every other day, I'm making them maybe once a month, and then I have a bunch in the freezer for every morning that we're gonna have pancakes. So basically just whenever you're doing something meal prep related for your child, think like, can I do more of this and just save it for later? All right, that does it for these mom hacks. If you want some more, make sure that you're following me over on Instagram because I share all sorts of like just mom and everyday life hacks over there as they sort of come into my life. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I hope you're staying safe, staying well, and I will see you all in my next video. Okay, quick funny side note about this mirror. I actually bought it on Amazon, and the description of the mirror says that it's a great gift for someone who loves mirrors. So if you have a mirror lover in your life, I'll link this below. If you liked today's video, I think that you would also enjoy this video a lot, and make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. You can hit this button right here or hit it down below. Make sure to hit the bell notification as well because that way you'll get notified every single time one of my videos goes live.